What's the word, chat? Welcome to the stream, by the way. You know the vibes. It's Big Money Heck in the building, aka Big Dollars Heck in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Make sure the bell says all, chat. You know the vibes. It's free to support. Yes, sir. Let's go. Bow.
Got the elimination onto Victor V, which is why you see that mythic pistol in inventory. So if this team wasn't scary before, they are definitely positioning themselves to be one of the scarier teams in this lobby for the last game of the day. There's a lot of freedom. Look at them just running around here over and around the battle woods. Even though we know nobody else is here, they're just looking for another opportunity to get eliminations. And if you take a flashback to Major 1, it's the same thing that Venom and Curve did on day 2 to catch up to teams. So this could be an attempt in the last game of the day to try to build themselves a cushion.
Yeah, this is one thing Veno does very well, is obviously cut players off and, again, continue to set up these ambushes. He just seems to be a couple of steps ahead on the prep right now. On the other side, though, you have Bolts, Acorn, talking about preparation, continue to stay true to their strategy, playing these surge bases dead center. Depending on where the zone lands, they have sort of floated around these different POIs here.
I got a big K round.
Sticking true though, 266 points. We're talking about Aegis, Veno, Higgs, and Curve. Sitting nicely in third place. When this game started, they were only 5 points out of second, but on the flip side, 9 points away from where Muzz and Rise are at on the leaderboard. You got Peterbot and Poyo catching up as well. So as it's looking, one mistake can really cost you what seems like a spot at the global championship at this point, unless you're Acorn and Bolts, Peterbot and Poyo, of course. So there's still a lot of time left here in this game. Clicks and Rapid saw in the feed that they did take down Visual, so they do at least have one elimination here, and that's going to be important because throughout the course of the game, it hasn't been every single one, but Storm Surge has been a worry for them.
Storm Surge always tough to deal with when you're not actively getting those successful fights early on. We saw them kind of burn out that strategy, right? Landing on Mirror Ops and QK, and it just had diminishing returns shortly afterwards. Seems like it's starting to show itself here, but Clicks and Rapid just have to kind of piece it together now. They start off very strong.
Down below, Tyler and Curly just kind of rotating through. I'm not sure if they got the signal that Clicks and Rapid are up above, but there has been a lot of noise made. So maybe trying to use Clicks and Rapid as a deterrent for some of the other teams that might be rotating by. Not making it easy for anybody to feel comfortable on this side of the map. But on the other one, you see Cold, Ritual making their way in from the north side of Sinister Strip, wasting no time to leave the Battlewood. And that's been something that has been good for them and bad, leaving the Battlewood early. Sometimes they get caught off guard, get damage put on them, so they have to worry about Storm Surge, and other times, just like this, they're quick to the punch and position themselves accordingly.
Yeah, I just think after that, like, F9 and Moneymaker play, they're like, all right, we gotta not get comfortable here. And they have kind of found their way back into the pacing needed to get towards the top of the standings.
Just kind of looking at their overall damage right now. They've slowed down a little bit. Got to imagine Moneymaker and F9 had a hand in that. But for Cold and Ritual, third best team overall in terms of damage being poured out into the lobby. Number 2, Peterbot and Poyo here, 7,200 damage combined. And I think the thing that's kind of propelling Veno and Agers just a little bit so far in this game compared to some others is they have at least an 11 elimination lead over the next highest team, which is Higgs and Curve. So that 1 point of differential is being propelled by
What's
Veno
good,
and
Vondell?
Agers.
Appreciate you, my heart. Appreciate you, buddy. Means a lot.
Yeah, definitely starting to see it wear and tear. Peterbot Boyo, though, look at this, 67 above. Just kind of eyeing things up right now. They're going to be forced to take a fight. Boyo's looking at Cold's box, though. That is not the team you want to key. I know that for certain. They also don't have problems with damage right now.
I should see them so far separated. Similar to Veno and Agers, but they're just rotating towards the next zone. Still 1 point of differential here. Higgs and Curve, Veno, Agers both got that one elimination, keeping it close. Hatton's hiding on the other side of the mending machine, perfectly hides the silhouette, catches Veno off guard, not only gets the elimination, but turns Agers into turmoil. He's 187 below the damage threshold.
Yeah, you saw how quickly Agers doubled back. He's like, wait, I actually can't disengage here. I need to take this fight. This is a tough spot to be in. Luckily for him, though, look at this. That team actually disengages, not exactly recognizing that Agers didn't full leave. They're going to be happy with the quick elim that they got, but Agers desperately has to chase this down. There's just no way he sticks around for too long. He tries to, again, edge out some cheeky damage there because this is going to cost him all his heals now. But look, Havoc rotates right into Noxy and Dash. They're a team that are also in the race for top 10. Don't forget that. So these points here are surely going to come very much welcomed. Little luck is on Agers' side, though, as he's now 11 above, so he will get a little bit of room to work with here.
Yeah, I was going to say, this next zone, though, even though he popped 11 above the damage threshold, the next zone, it's going to have whittle players out of this lobby. He's going to fall below yet again. It's not necessarily going to be active at this point in time, so he does have some seconds here of leeway to maybe get Veno back in the game, maybe try to find somebody out. But you can see in the minimap, there is nobody in and around the vicinity so far for Agers up until now, and he is 232 below. In essence, he needs more than a full elimination worth of damage. And the only team right now in his side is King and Craze.
Yeah, very strong team, as we all know, but look at this. The shot opens up. Agers initiates onto Crazy, finds two, and now he's looking to get in the box with two of the best box fighters in the region. They also needed the damage, so surely here and now for Higgs and Curve, they're going to be counting their lucky stars. Their immediate competition is now taken out.
Because of that, Agers essentially putting King and Craze below the damage threshold. Essentially doing almost 100 damage each, and you can see them 118 below. It was literally that exchange, so even with the elimination, they realize the struggles aren't done just yet. 71 players still up. We're only halfway through this game. 31 players, whether they're a team or individuals, need to fall before Storm Surge. No longer a thing in this lobby. It's even affecting players around the vicinity as well. We know Peterbot and Poyo were also barely above the line, but as it stands, it looks like King and Craze are going to attempt to out-heal most of this Storm Surge. They are already in zone. There's no reason for them to move. They just need to wait for other teams to finally start to rotate in.
Look at that. They see Peterbot and Boyo. They see a team in the storm right now. Some wood builds there. They're trying to target them, and they just can't seem to break through the armor. This is a tough spot to be in. And then you think about it, they also pulled zone. This could have been so perfect for King and Craze to really propel themselves right up to top 3. Here's the last of their heals now, Jacob.
Nobody's moving. Noxy, Dash, because they're still full HP, you know they're not below the damage threshold. Acorn and Bolt in the distance, not below the damage threshold. Cat Awesomer may be, but he's not peeking, given any opportunities. Peterbot and Poyo above the damage threshold. So if he has any hope of finding damage, it's going to have to go on a hunt. King and Craze especially, you can see the 243 below the damage threshold. They realizing that no opportunity is open up. They cannot wait for the perfect storm. They have to figure out a way to create it. 243 below. Big shot onto Cooper, but he takes both of them down with a little help of Storm Surge.
That was really tough. That was a fight against Cirque and Cynics, but Reet and Cooper came down from their strong positioning to try to get into the fight because they also needed the damage. But instead, it all went south for them. Now Reet and Cooper pretty much out of the race here, but he still has plenty of heals. Either way, he can't sit around for too much longer. The storm's coming, the surge is on, he's got a shockwave across. Yeah, look, I was gonna say, he's probably not gonna have time to even get situated here. Curve and Higgs, though, sitting pretty in the middle of the chaos here.
Hey, Venom Agers both out or just simply didn't get eliminations. They took that first place back on the leaderboard, but how long can they hold on to it? Curve immediately goes down. And again, it's Cirque getting the elimination, disrupting the flow along with Cynics, not letting anybody catch any momentum here. So now Curve, even though he's above the damage threshold, he's by himself and he is fresh out of shockwaves. So
yeah, what's tough about that?
Gonna need one.
I was just gonna say, what's tough about that is they falls to a misplay. Curve landed, unfortunately, right in front of that opponent and didn't realize the teammate was in his box. That late reaction there is gonna cost him. And now Higgs has to play this one out by himself. I still see Josh Yamzo alive. Shadow Virgo standing here in the mid-ground. Cold and Ritual, though. Look at what they're doing here, Jacob. Finding eliminations when it matters.
Yeah, that pre-edit they thought was going to work actually worked against them, giving Cold the perfect right-hand peek to get those eliminations. That's going to help them tenfold, climb up the leaderboard for sure. Definitely going to loosen up the Storm Surge, just like Peterbot and Pollo. They get high ground. They have not looked back. Elimination going to be cleaned up on Pollo. 2A Oxy in the distance. Their first elimination of the game. I was going to say most important, but Storm Surge turns off nonetheless. 39 players up. Top 21 situation. Ozone is going to get separated from Golden. You see Pollo toying with the idea. Is it safe to drop down and collect the loot? I don't think so, buddy.
Yeah, this is crazy because we're now shaping up for one of the closest entries into day 2 that we've ever seen. You have our first place team who's taken out super early. Our second place team, I mean, it was just Higgs. He's now by himself. If he falls early, this standing is going to crunch and it's going to get really close leading into day 2, especially with Peterbot and Pollo on top starting to rack up the points now.
Yeah, around 27, 37 or something or so points behind right now. If they're able to kind of take them out before top 10. So there's still a lot of time here for Peterbot Pollo to attempt to close the gap. But you have to be careful. You ease up the pressure. Team like Acorn and Bolts could try to take advantage, but Rapid staying alive underneath. 8 builds left, 3 shockwaves, no extra heals. Rapid's going to need some sort of a miracle here. He even got a little bit of pressure coming from the top side of that build, and he's just waiting for the last possible second for the zone to push him in before he's forced to make a move.
I like the play here from Higgs, just trying to heal this one out, buy himself some time here. Downloading what's happening all around him. Meanwhile, Cold and Ritual continue to make the clean rotates here. They are starting to run out of material. They find a player here. Can they get the full finish? It's on to Virgo. A great knock there and more points being added up. And this is that point crunch I was talking about. Cold and Ritual flying up. Muzz and Rise in the feed, still in the game as well. Higgs barely holding on here, trying to maintain the cushion, but for how much longer can he do it?
Yeah, it's going to get exponentially worse.
My gosh.
Zone moving up the side of the mountain. Higgs barely surviving up until then. Currently and Tyler are going to be the ones to shut him down, getting the bare minimum, just siphon mats. But at this stage of the game, something is better than nothing. On high, Peterbot and Pollo holding strong. Nobody has looked up to try to shockwave. Acorn and Bolts, one of the teams that could potentially do it. And you can see they're just hurt right now. They're taking the pain. Acorn struggling to find his way back to Bolts. So that way he can feel safe and heat up. And this action is just constantly rolling. Muzz and Rise, they find their 6th elimination of this game.
They're playing some good Fortnite right now. They're actually going for high ground once again here as they go layer after layer, inching their way up. But look at this, Rise finds Bolts. We already knew Acorn was very much low on HP, so this is looking good for them. Take a look at Acorn's POV. 26 health inside the cone. Players everywhere right now, and that's Cold and Ritual on the other side of the box.
6th place through 2nd place, still alive. One way, shape, or form here in this game just goes to show why the leaderboard is so stacked. Ritual and Cold fighting tooth and nail. Muzz and Rise just got taken down, currently getting his Van onto Rise, sending him right back to the lobby before he joins him himself. But while all that is going down, it's literally chaos on the low ground. Peterbot and Poyo again smooth sailing from one point to another.
Looking very good for them. Cold, Ritual trying to fight their way to 10 eliminations, but no! Cold falls first. Ritual left to play the medkit here. He's trying to earn some cheeky points, but Peterbot and Poyo fish in the barrel as they fire from the top down, and it's all but Ritual left as he gets spotted out here. Peterbot and Poyo pick up a 6 elimination game and likely jump to first.
Yeah, I was talking about through the course of today, their struggles were Storm Surge. What is going wrong? Well, they not only fixed it, they ended the day off with a bang.
MDF, Jacob, thank you guys so much for the cast. Kelly, I can't remember who said it. Maybe it was me or it was me. But earlier on the show, someone said, Peterbot and Poyo, they do this all the time, right? They kind of have these kind of all over the place games, and then they just decide, we're going to take a game, we're going to go ahead and win, and then suddenly everything is the Peterbot and Poyo show. Of course, Kelly! Of course it happens in Game 6!
Wow, Zeke, that prediction, that analysis you brought, that doesn't sound like anything that Vivid actually said at all. But no, incredible performance from Peterbot and Poyo. They do this every time. We watch them in day number 1. We're like, oh, it's over. They're washed. Look at them. They're not even making it into the top 10. And then somehow they climb up the leaderboard, just doing what they do best. And in the final game of day number 1, of course, it would be Petey and Poyo getting the win. And, oh, sorry, I just looked at the leaderboard, Vivid. Oh my gosh.
Haven't had an opportunity to look at it myself, right? No spoilers. I'm gonna see it when everybody at home sees it, so that way we can be equally excited. But yeah, I mean, listen, we were going into game number 4. I'm pretty sure these guys were outside of the top 10, and I was like, I'm literally not worried at all. I'm pretty sure this is the exact moment when we're gonna start to see the resurgence of Peterbot and Poyo in this FNCS. And going into game number 4, sure enough, they got 5th. Going into game number 5, they got 3rd. And then in game number 6, they finished the day out in 1st place. So how did it all end up panning out after day number 1?
Here we go. We take a look at our leaderboard of 4 places. Peterbot and Poyo lead the pack. Game number 6. They have just set themselves up. I can't even believe this is happening. They've set themselves up in the final game of the day to go into tomorrow's 6 games as the number 1 duo. But look at this leaderboard.
Look at it.
Also, highlights. You get out of here. Ain't none of y'all over here. Kelly, Ritual, and Cold, Muzz, and Rise, Acorn, Bolts, Higgs, and Curve. It's looking crazy in the top of this leaderboard, Kelly.
It is not even 40 points that separate 1st from 5th place. And although we do have a couple of our globals qualified teams in there, a lot of them are these newly formed duos. So it's not just fighting for that 1st place spot or for the Axe of Champions. No, they're also fighting for that grand final spot and also the bragging rights to prove that they are the best. And Cold and Ritual have just done such a good job being so consistent throughout the day. Let's ignore that 46th place, that, pretend that game didn't happen. And then if you look outside of that, the worst game they had was a 6th place, able to grab eliminations every single time that they make it into the end game, and they just make it look so easy, Vivid.
Yeah, disgusting placements, right? A 6th, a 5th, a 6th, a 2nd, and a 2nd for Cold and Ritual. But I mean, I don't know. NA just always kind of feels like a lot of these teams start to fly under the radar. But every single time, whether it's, when we end the day or when we end the grand finals, those teams that we know and love to be towards the top of the leaderboard, they find their way up there every single time. But yeah, the fact that our top 5 is just so close. Only 34 points separating top 5 right now. Going into day number 2, we're pretty much just going to be resetting the competition. It's going to be a fight towards the top of the leaderboard to see who actually takes it home. I don't know. NA always likes to set us up for day number 2. Always likes to set it up usually for game number 12 as well. And I feel like we're going to get exactly that here once more.
That's what's crazy, right? Just think about how much, remember, contextually, we now come back tomorrow for 6 games, right? So these players are going to be able to look back, VOD review, take a look at, take their plan and update that, right? How much crazier this is, Kelly, going into to a day 2, and it's not like, oh, there's a team, they're out 200 points ahead, this is so close. This is so close. And honestly, as I look down this leaderboard, even someone in like 11th place, you get one good game. We saw what one good game can do. 100 points, 10 elims in the VR, and suddenly we've got another 10 outside the top 10. Who's fighting for it? Kelly, tomorrow's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a movie.
Anything can happen, and we are looking at the top of our leaderboard, but I do want to remind everyone that we're kind of looking potentially at our top 12 as well. We already have 6 players that have moved their way into the global championships, and we're going to be finding 6 more as well. So although we're kind of looking at the top of the leaderboard right now, we could be looking all the way to 12th place for what would be a successful grand finals.
Yeah, it'd be super, super interesting to kind of see who ends up pulling out those qualification spots. Still a lot to play for. We know that these big swing games can kind of happen, but as we get later and later into the competition, those big swings, they start to strike a little bit less and less because the points are just already accumulated. So we're going to enter crunch time as soon as we jump in the game at number 7 tomorrow. It'll be interesting to kind of see if anybody can clutch up and jump up a couple of spots.
Oh man, Fortnite fam, that wraps up day number 1 of Major 2 Finals. Tomorrow, we will be back for 6 more games. EU is right before us. They're going to crown a champion. They're going to send players on through the Global Championships. Tomorrow, we come back, we get 6 more. It's going to be crazy. And don't forget, looming after Major 2 is the last chance Major. The final opportunity to try and snag one of the handful of spots going to the Global Championship. Thank you so much for being on this ride with us. It is incredible. We hope you've had a fantastic day. Until tomorrow, we love you. Keep yourself safe. And we'll see you on that battle bus.
Beep, beep.
Shout out to the 3 people that's watching. You know the vibes. Go crazy with it, chat. Go on. Shout out to the 4 chat. You know the vibes. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Make sure the bell says all chat. You know the vibes. Once again, chat. Once again, if you haven't already, shout out to the 5. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Make sure the bell says all chat. We about to go up, you heard? Happy Saturday, Chad. Shout out to the six. Gotta go. Wow. Little tech in the building, go crazy with it. Ah.